Welcome to the Essential Skills for Humaning podcast, where we explore the fundamental abilities and insights that make us better humans. Here's your host, Christina Eanes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Christina Eanes, host of the Essential Skills for Humaning podcast. And today we have Craig Goldberg. Welcome, Craig.
Welcome. Thank you. Grateful to be here, and thanks for listening.
Awesome. Well, before we get into the science of mindfulness, which I'm really excited about, and I'm actually oddly really calm right now, can you share a little bit about your background?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm originally from New York. I grew up stressed and anxious, living in New York City, working in New York City nightlife, working the other 9 to 5, the graveyard shift,
Yeah.
as it's called, and I didn't realize quite how stressed I was until I started to realize just how relaxed I could get.
Mm.
And it turned into what we'll talk about today, which is an entire movement and this business that we have, and more importantly, the impact that we get to have day in and day out on what we're doing. I'm a father. I have a 4-year-old daughter. I'm a husband.
Mm.
Today's my 10-year wedding anniversary, actually.
Oh,
And I'm, I try and live life with integrity and be an upstanding human and do the best I can every single day to leave the world better than I received it. And,
awesome.
grateful to be here.
Oh, I love it. It's an awesome mission.
I think it's the little things that we can do every day. And I'm kind to myself, and I give myself slack, which we'll talk about, and I'm easy on myself most of the time. And I'm, like I said, just trying to do the best I can every single day.
Yeah.
And be a little better today than I was yesterday, a little better tomorrow than I was today.
Nice. I love it. This is a broad topic. So where do we start? Where would you like to start?
I mean, I think the important aspect is to understand maybe where stress and anxiety comes from and why mindfulness is so important. I'm a science geek. You could sit down and tell me it's important to close my eyes and meditate, and that's great. I want to know why.
Yes.
Just like my 4-year-old. Why, Dad? Why? Why is that? Why? Right. So I want to dig into it and really understand it. And that's really where the topic came from, and the desire for me to go out and share is because I think with a little bit of awareness, and we could dive as deep into the science as you want, as deep really, or we can kind of hang out on the surface, which is probably a good place to start, and just kind of talk about, first of all, I think anxiety is a symptom, not a diagnosis. And I think, look, there's lots of different reasons why anxiety is created, but it ultimately is a symptom. And most of the time, it's a symptom of, as I look outside, this incredibly chaotic and stress-inducing environment that we have co-created together. This society here in the United States, which is wonderful and beautiful, and I'm a patriot and I fight for the country and the whole nine. At the end of the day, just being a law-abiding citizen, no matter where you live, Texas, Florida, California, New York, Idaho, it doesn't matter. Just being a law-abiding citizen yields you a to-do list that is greater than the amount of time that you have to complete the tasks.
Yeah. From
the mail that shows up, which there's never anything interesting for me to open in the mail, but it takes me 10 minutes every single day to go through the mail, right? Yeah. I have 2 vehicles. My wife has a vehicle, has a Jeep. I have a truck. I got to go to the DMV, but before I go to the DMV or pay for it online, I've got to get it smogged, right? Like all of these, I got to drop my daughter off at school every day because there's no bus service here. Like insert chaos, and that's everybody's life. And kids obviously throw a wrench, and being a husband or a wife and being in a relationship and having a job and maybe a side hustle. And
yeah, we're all getting stressed out.
right? Just thinking about it is like, wow. Okay. Yeah. That's before anything goes wrong. That's before I hit a curb 2 days ago and almost popped a tire, and now I've got to take the Jeep to the tire shop, right? Like that's before anything goes. It's before my daughter throws up at school. I mean, when everything is good, I have a to-do list that I have to prioritize because I can't get it all done today. So what needs to get done today in the short period of time that I have to go run errands or to go do this or knock this out of my way, right? So again, this symptom of this to-do list that is endless and these demands on our time that are relentless is ultimately where this anxiety comes from. And if I'm not taking care of the things I need to take care of, I'm laying in bed thinking about all the things that I should be taking care of and I'm not
Yeah.
taking care of. So I think understanding why mindfulness and having some type of self-care practice is important, understanding health and the human body, all the things that you talk about on this podcast
Mm-hmm.
and why it's so important. Morning sunlight, which is free, right? So getting your feet in the dirt and taking off the sneakers that are blocking you from the negative ions and the electrical discharge that happens when our feet touch the earth, not cement, not
Mm-hmm.
pavement, but sand, dirt, grass, right? Preferably wet. So there are very easy things that we can do in the morning. Like as soon as I wake up, I take my shirt off and I walk outside and I get at least 5 minutes of sunshine with my feet in the grass.
Yeah.
Or I live in the desert, so very often it's actually on the dirt, and that sets the circadian rhythm for the day and
Mm-hmm.
helps me to get a better night's sleep 12 hours later when the sun goes down and my body prepares for sleep. Free. Everybody can walk outside and everybody can do it. We're not talking about vitamin D production, which is a different conversation, especially if you're in the northern part of the country here in the United States. Very hard to actually produce vitamin D from sunlight, which is a different conversation. But again, things that we can do for our mental health and mental well-being that are really important, including sound and vibration, which is why In Harmony is focused on creating products that help to deliver sound and vibration to the body. So this whole conversation around mindfulness, it really came up when we started to analyze what's happening when you're listening to our music meditations and when
Mm-hmm.
you're sitting on our relaxation furniture and what's happening in the brain. We noticed that you're being taken out of a beta brainwave, eyes open, processing the world around you, into an alpha. I'm putting my hands down. Beta is here, alpha, theta, delta, and then gamma, which is actually above beta.
Mm-hmm.
And we can see this on an EEG, an echoencephalograph, what's actually happening to the brainwave states in the body, how fast the synapses are firing in the brain. And what we noticed is that when you're listening to music, you're taken into an alpha, theta, delta, and gamma brainwave state, which are the target brainwave states during sleep, recovery, and meditation. So the science of mindfulness became this conversation around what actually happens when we close our eyes to meditate. Why is it so powerful? Why is it so important? Why can anybody do it, by the way? You can stream my music for free on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody has access to what I'm about to share. We do have an app. It's $8 a month, mainly because it's expensive to maintain the app and create new music. But you could walk outside, put your feet in the grass, close your eyes, allow your mind to find silence in the noise. The purpose of meditation is not to stop thinking and turn off your thoughts. Your brain can only do one thing, and that is think.
Yeah.
So it's futile to think that you can stop the thoughts that come through, but instead to find quiet in the noise and allow the thoughts to flow freely. Think of them, let them drift away, dwell on them. It doesn't matter. The whole process is to just take a few deep breaths. The breath controls the mind controls the body. Allow yourself to relax into that parasympathetic nervous system response and then go charge the day in a calm and relaxed place instead of a stressed and spun out place. And we could talk about fight or flight. We can talk about what's happening in that sympathetic nervous system response and why it's so chronically debilitating to the body, mind, and spirit. But this is why I think this is a really important conversation, because when you recognize how easy it is to do and you stop putting pressure on yourself to quote unquote do it right, all of a sudden it gets a lot easier to achieve the outcomes that you're looking for when it comes to mindfulness, meditation, relaxation, and how much more powerful it makes you when those demands inevitably come on the mind, body, and spirit to go perform and to do that optimally. I'm talking like I work with Olympians. I work with weekend warriors. I work with moms and dads that just want help being more even keeled with their kid. And by the way, I am that parent. My wife and I go through the same struggles that you do. My 4-year-old is amazing. I love her. She's incredible. Man, can she be a pain sometimes? Yeah, look, I can't even tell you. So she's 4, okay? Within the first year of her life, I can't even tell you how many times I called my parents, and the first thing I said before I even said hello is I'm sorry and thank you. And they were like, what did she do now? And I'm like, oh, full on meltdown at IKEA at the checkout counter for no apparent reason, because I wouldn't let her touch what she wanted to touch, and like kicking and screaming and like carrying her out just to keep it quiet. And I'm like, I swear this is my child. no, she's screaming at the top of her lungs. And I'm like, this is my daughter. I'm sorry. I love you all. Thank you. Like, hey mom, I'm so sorry. What does she do now? And I'm sure I was just so difficult and I'm so grateful. Thank you for anyway.
Well, let's actually go into, if you don't mind, the because I think it's important people know about when we are in that constant state of anxiety, what's going on with our nervous system and why it's so important that we give it breaks.
Totally. Okay. So, so the body and the mind only, and the nervous system only has one response to stress and anxiety. So as you start thinking about the things that bring on the shortened breathing and that feeling of anxiety, whether it is mental, emotional, physical, relational, nutritional, financial, doesn't matter what kind of stress it is, the body only has one response, and that is the sympathetic nervous system response, or fight or flight, otherwise known as survival mode. And this is really important. And people call it fight or flight, which is obviously, I think, relating to like, am I going to fight or am I going to run? But survival mode for me is more impactful because when the body is in survival mode, it changes its priorities. It says, I need to survive. I don't need to maintain myself. I need to save this vessel's very being.
Yeah.
And the priority list is different when you're in survival mode. Because if I don't need to kill off dead cells and maintain the body, I don't need to digest food, because if I don't save the vessel, there will be no food to digest and there will be no digestion to perform. So when you're in that survival mode, which again, whether the stress is financial, emotional, mental, or physical, which are right, or relational, I can't believe my sister is doing that thing again. I can't believe my brother won't do this thing it's so simple. Why won't he do it? Right? Yeah. It's the same stress. It puts us into this sympathetic nervous system response, this survival mode. And when that happens, there's this cascade of dominoes that fall. First of all, the mind turns off rational thinking. So you think you're making good decisions, but you're really making decisions that are designed to help you survive, not necessarily the most rational or logical.
Yeah.
And they don't feel illogical because it's turned off. That ability is turned off. It uses a lot of energy, and the body says, no, I need to divert energy to the major muscle groups of the body so that I can fight or run. Even if it's emotional stress, financial stress, something that doesn't require extra muscle energy, the kick in of cortisol and adrenaline keeps you hyper-focused, awake, and aware. The adrenaline diverts energy from digestion, rational thinking, your immune system, your reproductive organs, and so many other bodily functions that are designed to maintain and keep you in optimal health that are turned off. And that energy is diverted to the major muscle groups of the body, so that the great example is the mom can pick up a car and save her son or daughter, which I get emotional even thinking about, right? Where does that strength come from? Well, you only have one set amount of energy. It has to divert that energy from maintenance tasks to survival tasks. And that's great. If something is happening that needs your attention for a couple hours over the course of the day, it's not okay if you wake up in the morning and you read an email from a boss you don't like and a job you can't stand, and you're kicked into that fight or flight response. And you stay in that fight or flight response until you go to bed, or try to go to bed at 11 o'clock at night. And you read that same email going, you have to be in the office at 5 a.m. tomorrow. And you go, fuck, and now all of a sudden that response, you have adrenaline and cortisol now flowing through your body. There's no possible way you're going to fall asleep. The cortisol is designed to keep you awake and hyper-focused. You got at least 2-3 hours. That's if you don't ruminate on whatever it is that you're thinking about, which keeps you up all night. And by the way, I've been there. So I appreciate you. That's where the breath comes in, and these tools that we're going to talk about come in. So it's really important to understand what's happening in the body. That awareness for me breeds the opportunity for me to take charge, make change, and change the trajectory of my day so that I can spend more time calm and relaxed, less time stressed and anxious. And we all know when you're calm and relaxed, there's like nothing that the world can throw at you that you can't handle.
Yeah.
Like it just rolls off your shoulder. Like All right, no worry. Oh, cool. There's traffic on my way. No problem. I'm going to make a quick phone call. Hey, I'm running a couple minutes late. I'm going to roll down the windows. I'm going to put on a music meditation or a music song that I like, or I'm going to call I never get to talk to my dad. Now's a great time. Hey, dad, stuck in traffic. You got a couple minutes? Can we catch up? Versus when you're stressed and anxious and like you're just trying to check out at the grocery store with a bottle of water and the person in front of you has put in the wrong debit code 17 times and you're like I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. Just it's $200. It's on
Just
me.
move.
Have a great day. Just get like, right?
Yeah.
You can even hear it in my voice. Like, it's much better when we show up calm and relaxed with the wherewithal, the rational thinking, the energy from digesting our food, the power and the strength, right? Like when you're stressed and anxious, it doesn't matter how clean, how organic, how pure your supplements are, how wonderful your regimen is. Your digestion is turned off. The food's passing right through you. And that leads to this cascade of issues. I haven't looked at the numbers in the last couple of months, but in general, 6 of the top 10 reasons why Americans die of all-cause mortality, according to the 2020 census, have their root in stress and anxiety. You remove the stress and anxiety, those 6 reasons for all-cause mortality go away.
Yeah.
Heart disease, right? Like, I mean, again, there are so many different things that we can link to stress and anxiety, high blood pressure, statins, all these different medications that have all these different side effects. So I really believe that the pandemic or epidemic that we need to be dealing with is how to manage our own stress and anxiety. And by the way, I don't believe, yes, talk therapy is great and going to see a specialist that can guide you on your way is great. But ultimately, I want you who's listening to recognize that you are empowered to take control, that you control you, and that you have to do the work.
Yes.
And that's okay, because we can create environments where you're calm and collected and you have the power and the strength to do the work, not when you're spun out, stressed and anxious, because that's the hardest time to do the work. So instead, let's get the body calm and relaxed through breath, grounding, music meditations, our technology, using our relaxation furniture, and then sit down to do the work on your mindset and on goal setting and visualizations and all of the other things, so that you get less stressed and anxious over the course of the day.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so we've already got some of the ways we can do the work. Get out there, morning sun, get our feet in the earth. What are music?
Yeah, clean water, right?
Yeah.
Filtered water, a food that came from the earth and not from a box. Cuddle time and connection with other human beings. All this stuff, except for the water and the food, you got to pay for. But like, make the decision for better choices there. Cuddle time, skin on skin connection with other humans. Zone 2 cardio, which does not require a gym. Just get outside and walk. You should be able to have a conversation. So this is great to take a phone call or a meeting or something like that and walk for 20 to 30 minutes a day. That zone 2 cardio is unbelievable for the cardiovascular system, and it's free. I like hot and cold therapy. If you can get access to a sauna or a cold plunge, meditation and mindfulness is kind of the key pillar. Cold showers are great. Cold showers are great. I don't believe in doing them every day.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not a big fan of cold therapy every single day for a lot of different reasons. But hot therapy, I live in Vegas. It's 110 degrees outside.
You just walk outside.
Next week. I just go outside. I have a sauna. I'm very lucky. I have a sauna, but again, I just go outside.
Yeah.
And then the most important, which we'll dwell on for probably the longest, is really mindfulness, meditation, music, and sound. Your body is a big antenna. It is constantly coming into and out of what's called harmonic resonance with the frequencies that are presented to it. Either you're consciously presenting your body with positive frequencies, or you are being subjected to whatever frequencies, electromagnetic energy you're being presented with. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, electricity, all of that. Your body, believe it or not, subtle as it is, your body is picking up on that frequency and coming into harmonic resonance with it. Here in the United States, electricity, which is flowing through every wall in this house, hums at 60 hertz. My body is being taken up to 60 hertz, and our balanced frequency, our resting frequency, if you will, is 10 hertz. Nature outside has a 10 hertz frequency. An alpha brainwave state, which is associated with deep and rejuvenative restoration, is 10 hertz. The balanced frequency for the body is 10 hertz, and that's a whole other conversation, but that's the target brainwave to harmonize
Ooh.
the body, mind, and environment.
Yeah, that makes sense now. I remember because I live, airport is right there. I remember reading something about hypertension is higher in cities where there's a lot of noise, and I'm wondering if that's
Yes,
related. Yeah.
absolutely. Look, the hustle and the bustle of a New York City street is way
Oh,
higher than 10 hertz,
yeah.
right? The frequency of noises that you're hearing, a jackhammer, construction, the hustle and the bustle of being even in a crowded room with lots of conversations happening at a
Mm,
networking event is higher than 10 hertz.
yeah.
And we're also constantly coming into and out of harmonic resonance with the people that we're around
Mm-hmm.
and their frequency and where they are in life. And most of them are stressed and anxious,
Yeah.
right? So
Oh, you
when
can
you
feel
start,
it too.
absolutely, I can
Yeah.
feel it when I'm on the subway in New York City and somebody's
Mm-hmm.
having a rough day.
It's like, whoa.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I have feet, so I get up and walk away. And I usually find myself secluded in the corner of a subway or, I mean, an airplane. I'm about to fly to New York on Tuesday, and I'm subjecting myself to the energy of at least the people that are in the seats and rows around me,
Yeah.
if not everybody else that's on that plane, and all of the low level radiation that the plane is producing and everything else that's happening.
Yeah.
Just more awareness.
Whew. Okay, so I before we get to using the sound and maybe even the uh I don't want to say furniture. What is it?
Relaxation furniture, it's what we call it.
Okay,
It's
cool.
been very difficult to figure it out. Ultimately,
Yeah.
it's called the In Harmony Sound Lounge, which is our
Okay.
biggest unit, our In Harmony meditation cushion, which is our smallest unit. And
Oh,
then we have
okay.
2 units designed for bodywork and massage therapists. The In Harmony Practitioner 2, which
Mm-hmm.
is designed to go on top of your existing massage table. And then the In Harmony Massage Table, which is actually a massage table itself. It looks like a conventional
Ooh,
massage table, but we built it from the ground up. All of
cool.
our technology has built in something called a tactile transducer, which translates sound to vibration. And
Mm-hmm.
it's built into the furniture itself. So when you're sitting on the meditation cushion, it's at your root. It's vibrating your spine and your head, everything, your whole body. When you're laying down on the sound lounge, you have optional headphones. All of our technology has built-in high-fidelity speakers, and you can also plug in headphones. Our amplifiers are made from the ground up. It's all designed to be a very uniform and smooth experience.
Yeah.
You download our app, you play our music meditations, you link it to the amplifier through Bluetooth, or you can hardwire it, and you're laying down on a bed, listening to and feeling the same frequencies that we are
Mm,
presenting through our music meditations. It is the most soothing and calming and relaxing thing that I can
mm.
find. I'm also super biased because this is what I do, but it literally helps the body to drift into that parasympathetic nervous system response. It
Mm.
helps take you out of fight or flight, take you out of that sympathetic nervous system response, and help you to be more calm, more resilient, more relaxed over the course of the day.
Ooh, I love that. Now, so using that, we can use that on regular times. What about when we're in a moment? Like, and I'm very hearing sensitive. So,
Yeah.
like in a crowded room or on the airplane, or is there anything we can do to, I don't know, lack of a better term, shield ourselves?
So my favorite thing to do, I'm an
Hmm.
Apple guy. I
Hmm.
love these AirPods. I love transparency mode.
Hmm.
Look, Bluetooth absolutely has an impact. I'm wearing these air tube
Hmm.
headphones right now. I try not to wear them all day, every day,
Yeah.
but when I'm traveling, these are in my ears in transparency mode, allowing me to hear the outside world and listen to music at the same time.
Mm.
On our YouTube channel, you will find 11-hour extended music meditations.
Wow.
So you can literally just put on, I usually travel with the root chakra, which is associated with the root security, grounding, confidence, right?
Hmm.
And, or heart. I like to just have this uplifting, heartfelt attitude.
Yeah.
And while from the second I get out of the car at curbside until I land at my destination, I am listening generally to a music meditation that's running in the background. You can't hear it now, but I'm lucky enough to have a Sonos sound system that I invested in here in the house. I have a speaker in every room. All day
Mm.
long, I'm playing our music meditations and streaming them for free through. I do recommend a Google subscription
Hmm.
just to eliminate the commercials and the breaks.
Yeah.
But I'm streaming it live all day, every day. When you're in that crowded room It depends. You're at a networking event, you're talking to people, like, go outside, get some fresh air.
Yeah.
Take a breath. I do it. Yesterday, I was in a room of 120 entrepreneurs. They were all A-type personalities. There was a lot of energy in the room.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how many times I went outside. I acted like I was making a phone call, but I was really just going out to get some fresh air, get some sunshine on my skin, get away from, I wear these blue blocking glasses. I get away from the fluorescent lights, and help to protect my energy, and help to rejuvenate and regenerate over the course of the day, and give yourself that time.
Yeah.
Recognize that, hey, I got to change the environment right now.
Yeah.
I got to step outside, get some fresh air. I got to change this environment for a moment. Or I just got to sit down and need some quiet time. Act like you're on the phone. It's my favorite thing to do. I put in the AirPods and I put on a music meditation, and I'll just sit outside and take a few deep breaths, or I'll sit in a chair in the corner, whatever, and just say, hey, I just need a couple moments.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. Nice. Well, and I like the point that you made earlier too on trying when you're meditating to not judge yourself. Yeah, especially those type A personalities that want to get it just perfect.
Look, I think in general, us humans are just way hard. Like, I'm my own toughest critic for sure.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I have some critics around me, but I'm by far the toughest. And I think I get asked the question a lot, like, what's your one piece of advice for people? And it's be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, really, you're probably beating yourself up probably a little bit more than you need to.
Yeah.
Give yourself some slack, give yourself some grace. You can still push hard, you can still achieve, you can still do all the things, but do it with a heavy heart and do it with a relaxed demeanor. And don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay. You'll get it. You'll get it done. This too shall pass.
That's it.
Right? Whatever situation you're in will be over soon enough. Find the light at the end of the tunnel. Focus on the things you need to do day in and day out. And you'll get it done. And find some time for downtime. Your downtime is as important as your uptime. I promise you. Trust. I'm a manifesting generator. I have endless amounts of energy until I don't. I go, 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 go. And over the course of the day, when I give myself a break, when I get on the sound lounge, when I sit on the meditation cushion, when I just sit in this chair and sit back and close my eyes for a second and take a couple breaths, I'm a more powerful, better human. And I show up better for the people around me, including myself, my daughter, my wife, and the people I work with.
Yeah.
So give that to yourself and give that to them. Serve yourself first. When your cup is overflowing, then you can serve others.
Yeah.
And we forget that as healers and folks that serve. We forget that we have to take care of ourselves first. We deserve it. We've earned it. And we have to dedicate that time to our own well-being first, and then we can serve others with an overflowing cup.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Well, and one of my favorite things you reminded me to tell people is sometimes we need to slow down in order to speed up. And I wouldn't say sometimes.
Absolutely.
Just we need to slow down to speed up.
Look, sleep. By the way, we didn't mention sleep. Sleep is
huge.
at the top of the list. It's the number one thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a data hound. Okay. Apple Watch. I got a Whoop on. I love seeing the data. The Aura Ring's great, right? Like, I love seeing the data, and I get frustrated when I don't get a good night's sleep, even though I'm in bed for 8 hours. And look, I have a 4-year-old. We co-sleep. She wakes up in the middle of the night. She doesn't have things she needs. Her eyes are like all the things that lead to me not getting a great night's sleep. And again, this too shall pass. There will be a time where she's sleeping through the night. There will be a time where she doesn't want me in the middle of the night. There will be a time when she doesn't want to hug at 2 a.m. And I'm grateful for it along the way. It's the cutest thing ever. She's like, Dad, I want to cuddle. And I'm like, it's 2:00 in the morning. Can you get back into bed? I don't want to sleep alone. And I'm like, please sleep in your bed. And she's like, but you sleep with Mom. You are my daughter. Come get into my bed. Let's go. Let's cuddle. Like, it's adorable. Yeah. So sleep is the most important.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Can you share where people can learn more about you, your products or services, all that good stuff?
And I appreciate that. I'm one of the easiest people to find on the internet. So the easiest URL to remember is getoncraigsbed.com. Just something funny that we put together, getoncraigsbed.com. You can also look at our main website, which is iaminharmony.com. I am being the two most important words in the English language, because whatever comes after it, you are. So why not be in harmony with the world around you?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what our products and our music meditations do. They help you to come in harmony with the world around you. So iaminharmony.com. mindfulness.com. And then you'll find our socials. You'll find I'm Googleable, I'm searchable. I am the guy behind the comments on all of our social media. I am the guy behind the direct messages. My phone number is quite literally at the top of our website. It rings this phone right here.
Wow.
I am one of the easiest people to get in touch with, and I welcome the connection, and I'm grateful. I am in harmony.com.
Oh, nice. We will make sure that gets in the episode description as well.
Cool. Please.
Yeah. Okay, now I know you kind of already gave it, but I still want to leave space for your final piece of advice.
I did. I mentioned kind of being kind to yourself.
Yeah.
And I mentioned the second one, which is this too shall pass.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times we get hung up on what's right in front of us and what's happening. And that's part of the human condition and human experience. And the reality is this too shall pass. My daughter's 4 years old. I have 14 more summers with her.
Mm-hmm.
So
or
this too
longer.
shall pass. I mean, I have way longer than that, but and I hope I do, right?
Yeah.
I really hope I do. But the reality is at 18, she's on her own and she can leave if she wants and she can do her own thing. And so this too shall pass goes for I'm working on this stressful situation that's today and this will pass in the next 2 hours. Mm-hmm. It goes for I've got this stressful thing that I'm dealing with that will pass in 2 months or 2 years or 14 years. And I remind my wife of that as she's climbing into our bed and laying in between us and messing with our own intimacy and our own 10-year relationship. And I said, look, this is going to pass.
Yeah.
She's not going to want to get in our bed forever.
No.
So soak it up and cuddle and take those cuddles when you get them and be grateful for it, right? Because this too shall pass. So being kind to yourself and knowing that this too shall pass, I think are two fundamental foundations of being a good human and kind of optimizing that skill set.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share your wisdom with our audience today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Super grateful.
Thank you for tuning in to the Essential Skills for Humaning podcast. We hope you've gained valuable insights to enhance your journey as a human being. Remember, practice makes progress. Keep honing those essential skills, and until next time, keep being the best version of yourself. For more resources, visit eanestraining.com.